What is up, you DGens? Hope you're staying sexy. Today is June 8th, 2022, and it's been about a week since the last episode, but we are back. It's been a crazy week, and today's episode is called Beginner's Luck for a few reasons. We're going to get into that, but basically, today we're going to go over just some news, some things that have been standing out, and this idea of beginner's luck and then the psychology of trading. Originally, I was supposed to have a interview that I haven't been able to do because life's been crazy, but we do have an interview coming with Ace the Kid from the Keanu Trades Discord. The guy is, he just graduated middle school or kindergarten. I'm not really sure exactly which one, but yeah, he's 19. He's an absolute stud, and that's going to be an awesome interview that I'm really excited for. Once we lock it down, it's going to be great. But yeah, really looking forward to it. Today's going to be a nice episode. Hopefully, not too long. And also, if you haven't, check out the new merch. If you haven't, I don't know if you can see that or not, but new merch, dgendaytrader.com/merch. It's all there. It's pretty dope. I'm wearing one of the hats. One of the hats here. Got a nice little setup today too. Trying to go a little more professional. Got the desk looking legit. Not gonna lie. But all right, let's get into it. All right, shall we? Shall we? All right, so we're going to start off with kind of news that I think is a little more pressing today. It's a Wednesday, so midweek. It's not so much pressing as it is things that really stood off of the page for me personally that I think is a really good and fun way to look at the news because there were a few things that I think really stood out. One, not only about like the psychology of a few different things, but some cool little tidbits here and there. But the first thing that stood out was that Michigan is actually the 14th state to pass a law that makes personal finance a high school required course. Now, the fact that this is just happening or that this is only the 14th state to do this is mind-boggling to me. These are things that you should be learning in our school system to help form the future generations. You want kids, you're supposed to let kids or you want kids to grow up and go through school and get prepared for college and becoming an adult when I remember my classes going through middle school and high school was like cooking class and woods class, which were great because you did learn actual skills, but to not even teach how to balance a checkbook or how to look at personal finances is insane to me. So the fact that this is actually coming to fruition with Michigan, it's unbelievable. I think it's going to be an awesome step to basically give children an idea of what to be looking for in their own personal finance as they continue to grow through high school and after high school into college, if they go to college, or even if they don't go to college and they start to grow professionally right out of high school, which a lot of people do. And it's definitely something that's in the right direction. So I'm pretty pumped up for Michigan to do that. I'm excited for more states to step up and kind of do this as a requirement. Sorry, I don't even know where I was. So I'm excited for more states to basically step up and put together, education for personal finance as this generation grows because growing up in the past 30 years, this is an area where we missed in the education system, I think, because we've been through hell and back with my generation in terms of what we've had to deal with financially in and out of our control. But I think I think this is awesome. So that was the first thing that really stood out to me. The second is Elon Musk. Elon Musk named two major enemies today. This is hilarious. Billionaire and millionaire problems. Uh, so Tesla's co-founder Martin Eberhart launched a campaign to get sole credit for starting Tesla. And Elon Musk said he's the worst person I've ever worked with, and I've worked with some real assholes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Elon has to be a difficult guy to work for after, this whole going required back to the office and, cutting staff and not cutting staff and Twitter versus not Twitter and all this other shit. But for him to say straight up that this guy is real big thorn in his ass is hysterical. Um, Second is Musk really liked the name Tesla Motors, and he wanted the copyright for the name Tesla Motors, but some guy in Sacramento, California had the copyright to it and would not sell it to Elon. He offered him up to $75,000, wouldn't offer it or wouldn't accept it, didn't want to give it over. That's just big dick energy if I've ever seen it. That's absolutely awesome for that guy in Sacramento. Elon's all over the place still. He's got the most ADD I've ever seen, and that it's just wild. He's all over the place. Twitter, yes, no. Crypto, Dogecoin. Now he's just going off on people who he used to work with and why he doesn't get his way and what happens and all this shit. And I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Um, and then going to uh, the gem of Spirit Airlines, where just all good things happen. When you're looking for high quality travel, you go Spirit. I remember I took Spirit one time, and I went on a golf trip with my buddies down to Florida for a long weekend for 5 days. And Spirit Airlines, it was a direct flight, and yet Spirit Airlines lost my suitcase and my golf bag for 3 days. Explain to me how that happens. But Spirit Airlines postponed their shareholders meeting because they are in talks with both JetBlue and Frontier, who both, by the way, upped their offers last week to buy Spirit straight up as an acquisition. I mean, they got to be seeing something that I don't, because it's just talk about meme stocks. That's a meme airline. Um, and then lastly, there was a study done by Beyond Finance, which is one of the largest debt resolution companies nationally. And they did a survey during Mental Health Awareness Month. And the results and feedback that they got are absolutely appalling to kind of see firsthand. Um, they found that acute financial stress can take on many forms, which in turn affect people dealing with personal debt, which is basically everyone growing up now with college debt, with the dot-com bubble, with the housing crisis, with inflation, with being in a recession or on the brink of a recession. Everyone is in debt and trying to recover from something. More times than not, you're going to have some kind of debt. And just having that little debt, the survey found that it can affect people in a negative way on a larger scale without you even noticing. Um, Speaking of which, 66% of people avoided social events because of shame or embarrassment. Now, I can understand that because you don't want to let your guard down with your friends and your family and going out. I always think of the movie Cinderella Man, where Paul Giamatti, he's the trainer for Russell Crowe, but he's an upscale guy during the Great Depression, and but he didn't want everyone was going through obviously financial struggles, but he didn't want anyone knowing that he was going through struggles because he lived in this high rise apartment and all this. And when Russell Crowe went to go visit him, Paul Giamatti opened the door to his apartment with his wife, and it was empty. There was no furniture, nothing, because it hits everyone financially. And that's what resonated with me, and what brought me to that was you always want to keep your gloves up, which I get. You don't want to have that mentality of you need help. That's just not something that you want, but it's okay because you're not alone. And that's the thing that I really want to get across today is it's okay to express what's going on because 9 times out of 10 you are not alone or someone else has been through it. And you can reach out and talk to people. There are a ton of resources and a ton of different places that you can talk to people who have gone through the different scenarios like this, or who want to help out, or even just to talk and listen. Because that's not something that you want to be carrying on a daily basis when you're trying to strive for that personal independence and financial freedom. Another stat which I thought was pretty astounding was that the average US income right now is $74,000 a year. But according to the survey, people felt like they needed to earn at least $86,000 a year to just live and to get by at a minimum. And a lot of this is, I think, society adding expectations of what that Instagram life looks like and the millionaires and all that bullshit, which is just fake. But going on top of this, what this can cause is, the stress shopping, which I'm one to do for sure. Feeling alone, blaming themselves, and it causes it to make it even more difficult to talk to a partner or a friend or family about what's going on, because you don't want to feel like you're in it alone and you need help and you're suffering when everyone's going through it at some point in their life. And the reason why I brought up this kind of survey and the psychology of it is because the psychology of a beginner trader and this idea of beginner's luck, it really resonates with me because I am a beginner trader. I've been trading only for 5 months now, maybe 6 months. And there are these stages of trading, which Keanu Trades in my last episode talked about. He told me that very early on. He sent me this article about the stages of trading when you first start. And the stages are beginner's luck phenomenon, loss of confidence and or money, consolidation of skills and break-even phase, adoption of a trading plan, exponential profits, and then adjustment of earnings to goals and risk profile. Now, when I first read this, I was like, fuck that. That's not going to be me. And then as the last 6 months have kind of played out, it's pretty apparent to me that this is a part of the life cycle of becoming a successful trader. You need to know that you are coming in to be okay with losing money because it's going to happen. And this idea of the beginner's luck phenomenon is very real. I've dealt with it literally like the second week that I was trading. I got lucky with a few Tesla plays and then an Amazon play, and I was like, hey, this is the easiest thing in the world. I'm going to be a millionaire in no time. This is cake. And it is that idea of the beginner's luck phenomenon where it turns into false confidence and this idea of you can't be wrong, and you building that up in your head where you're right so many times and you do well and you get lucky that you think and start to justify like, oh, there's a loser, but I'm in it for a reason, it'll turn around. And then you're holding on to that loser, and then data, and it expires, and which then I've had plenty of Amazon plays that I got greedy and went to zero, which brings me into where I'm at now. And this is just in a 6 month time period, by the way, is the loss of confidence and or money, which is both. That's happened to me recently because not because of lack of trying or lack of commitment to learning, but because of small mistakes that I've been making. I've been basically playing scared. And playing scared, then you get, iffy and you start to second guess yourself. And then, you can't play with scared money. There's the old saying, scared money doesn't make money. Well, it's true, but you need to know that scared money doesn't mean that you're not going to lose it. It means that you know that you could lose it. And you need to stick with your rules. And then you need to continuously learn and then not chase and do this thing of, okay, well, I lost a few big trades. I destroyed my account and I'm in this process of rebuilding. And yes, I do have good trades, but I'm not like having these huge exponential days on a continuous basis. I've had good days here and there where I'll make four figures, but then the next day I'll overtrade, and then I'll get to a point where like I'm down on a trade and I won't stick to my rules and get out, and then I'll hold on to it and be like, well, the number of times I've had this conversation with people in my Discord is, well, it's already down 50%, might as well just hold and see what happens. I mean, just think about how dumb that logic is. And I'm getting so frustrated at myself just talking about it because of how immature it is and not sticking by my rules. And Ace the Kid, who I'm going to be interviewing, he suggested something that I think is absolutely phenomenal, which is turn off the dollar amount in your account, in your brokerage account, and only look at percentages, so that way you follow your rules and you take gains. $300 a day in trading is an extra $6,000 a month. Just think about that. You don't need to hit a home run every single time. Live to trade another day. And again, this is only 6 months in, and I'm still on step 2 of 5, where the confidence is gone. I'm still learning. I'm trying, but I'm getting nervous. I'm thinking maybe I need to try different tickers. Like I've been really focusing on SPY and Tesla, and maybe I need to look at other ones and QQQ and whatnot. Well, no, I need to stick to what I've been focusing on and stick to my game plan. And then obviously consolidation of skills, and then the break even phase. That's more about, I think, fine tuning your trading style and fine tuning what you're comfortable with in terms of how you're approaching your technical analysis. I'm big on this golden goose strategy right now, along with Elliott wave stuff, and trying to combine that with supply and demand, and really hunkering down into what works for me. But every trader is different. You need to find your own language, and it's that idea where this is the point in time in this stages of trading and the psychology of trading, where if you're in the stage of losing confidence in money, you can't quit now. This is where most traders quit. You can't quit now because, one, there are ways to continue trading and learning by paper trading, but also don't chase. Stay within your rules. I don't care how big or small your account is. You can play with $25 a day. You can play with $5 a day. There are tickers out there. You need to stick to your rules. You need to stay confident and talk to other people that are trading. Everyone has gone through this. Everyone has had shitty stretches or bad plays or bad calls. It's okay to go through this where the confidence is gone and you feel like nothing you can do is right, or you feel like the market's against you and you're just not seeing it. Or I played out Elliott wave on Tesla that I literally called out last week, going up to 740 and then retracing, and I didn't even listen to my own technical analysis. I had puts and it raced up. I mean, I got out, but you need to learn to bring that confidence back little by little, whatever that is. But this is going to be a shorter episode because, I want to start doing this a little bit more frequently, where maybe it's 3 episodes a week, but not as long, where I'm going to dedicate 1 a week where it's a interview. So that is going to be Ace the Kid coming up here in a little bit, in the next few days, about kind of walking through his past and how he got into trading and where he is at now, because it is absolutely fascinating. So look out for that next few days. Again, go to dgendaytrader.com. Go check out the merch. Go check out everything that's going on. Remember, 1, stay sexy. 2, follow your rules. And 3, everyone's gone through a situation that you're going through when you're learning as a new trader. So talk about it. It's okay to ask questions. Don't be intimidated. I was. Don't wait so long. All right, you degens, stay sexy. We'll see you soon. We'll talk to you in the next few days. Yeah.